Welcome to This Explainer. Look, today we're going to completely transform the way you interact with AI tools, whether that's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, you name it. If you've ever felt super frustrated because an AI just didn't quite give you what you were looking for, you are absolutely in the right place. We are diving into a complete masterclass in prompt engineering. We're starting from absolute zero, and we're building right up to the advanced techniques that the pros use every single day. We're going to see exactly how you can turn these tools from, confusing little novelties into incredibly powerful partners. So let's jump right into a scenario we all know a little too well. You've probably asked an AI to do something that seemed pretty simple, right? Only to get this confusing, generic, or just completely useless response back. And you're sitting there wondering, what went wrong? Well, here is the secret. The AI isn't the problem. The quality of an AI's answer depends almost entirely on the quality of your prompt. It literally only knows what you tell it. So learning how to tell it exactly what you need, that is a total game changer for your daily productivity. To get us there, we're going to cover 6 key areas today. Number 1, the highly intelligent intern. Number 2, how AI actually thinks. 3, anatomy of a great prompt. 4, advanced prompting techniques. 5, real-world AI workflows. And we'll wrap it all up with number 6, the universal prompt formula. All right, let's kick things off with part 1, the highly intelligent intern and bridging that communication gap. Let's start by totally shifting our mental model here. I want you to think of AI not as some omniscient, mind-reading robot, but honestly, it's more like a highly intelligent intern who just needs incredibly clear instructions. Prompt engineering is really just the art of clear communication. It is not programming. It's the process of explaining your exact requirements to get exactly what you pictured in your head. I mean, if you just tell an intern to build a website, you might get literally anything back. But if you tell them to build a responsive portfolio website using React and Tailwind CSS with a dark mode, well, you're actually going to get what you want. So your big takeaway here is to treat AI like a brilliant but very little intern. Your quick mental exercise for today is this. Next time you write a prompt, just pause for a second and ask yourself, would a human intern know exactly what I mean by this? Moving right along to part 2, how AI actually thinks. Let's look at the prediction engine. It's kind of wild to wrap your head around, but AI doesn't actually understand meaning the way you or I do. Large language models do not think in human terms. At their core, they are just incredibly powerful prediction engines. When you ask it to explain Docker, it's simply recognizing relationships between words and then predicting the most likely statistical sequence of words to follow that phrase. It's generating text based on patterns that learn from massive, massive amounts of data. The takeaway? You aren't talking to a brain, you're guiding a really fancy statistical calculator. Try this out later. Write down a prompt you used recently and see if you can spot the vague words that might have caused the AI to predict the completely wrong statistical path. Which brings us to part 3, anatomy of a great prompt. We're going to break down the 4 key ingredients. So now that we know we're basically guiding a statistical calculator, let's build a prompt that actually leverages that prediction engine the right way. Every truly excellent prompt contains these 4 key ingredients to narrow down those predictions. First up is the goal. Tell it exactly what to do. Second is context. Give it background. Tell it who you are or what you already know so it doesn't talk down to you or, go way over your head. Third, constraints. Specify your limits. Maybe you need a maximum of 300 words or you need it to avoid technical jargon entirely. And finally, output format. Tell it exactly how the answer should look, like a table or bullet points, whatever you need. You can literally see the night and day difference when we put this into practice. The bad prompt is just way too vague. The AI is going to have to guess what you want. It'll probably just spit out a super generic wiki answer. But the good prompt? It uses all 4 of our ingredients. It sets the goal, it provides the context to being a Java developer with Docker experience, it applies constraints by asking for analogies in a strict 500-word limit, and boom, you get a highly customized, incredibly useful explanation. The core takeaway here is that structure completely eliminates guesswork. So your exercise for this section, take a generic request you use all the time and rewrite it right now using all 4 ingredients: goal, context, constraints, and format. Okay, jumping into part 4, advanced prompting techniques, it's time to really level up your AI communication. Once you've got those basics locked in, we can start introducing advanced techniques to completely supercharge your results. Notice the specific phrasing used for this technique, which is called role prompting. By explicitly assigning the AI a role, like saying, "You are a senior Java architect," you instantly force the AI to change the style, the tone, and the depth of its response to match an expert persona. You can make it a doctor, a career coach, a Linux admin, literally anything. It forces the model to narrow its statistical focus to highly specialized knowledge. Another absolute game changer is strict output control. When you combine role prompting with structured outputs, you completely eliminate unpredictable formatting. Need JSON for your APIs? Ask for it. Need markdown tables for your documentation? Just say so. Need exactly 5 bullet points for a quick summary? Tell it. You get results that you can instantly plug straight into your workflow without having to reformat the whole shebang yourself. This saves massive amounts of time on repetitive tasks. Now, if you're throwing complex reasoning tasks at it, like math or tricky logic puzzles, upgrading from a standard prompt to a chain of thought prompt is a total must. Just by adding a simple phrase like solve step by step and explain each stage, you actually force the AI to show its work. It lays out the logical path before arriving at the conclusion. This stops the prediction engine from just rushing blindly to a wrong answer, and it drastically improves the accuracy and reliability of what you get back. But hey, what if the AI is still missing the mark? Well, that's when you bring in shot prompting to teach it exactly what you expect. Zero shot is basically just asking directly without examples. But if that fails, try one shot. Give it one perfect example of your input and your expected output. If it's still struggling, go for a few shot. Provide multiple examples to establish a rock-solid pattern that the AI can seamlessly continue. To sum this up, advanced techniques constrain the AI's behavior and enforce logic. Your practice exercise here? Try giving an AI a few-shot prompt by pasting in 2 examples of a specific email tone you like, and then ask it to write a third one. Let's see this all in action with Part 5, Real-World AI Workflows, and how we'd go about building an expense tracker. So, how do pros actually tackle massive real-world projects? Well, if a developer wants to build an expense tracker, they don't just say, hey, AI, build an expense tracker. That's going to fail every time because it's just way too broad. Instead, they use prompt chaining. They divide the massive task into this sequence of really digestible, highly specific steps. First, generate the requirements, then design the database, then map out the APIs, and so on. By chaining prompts together, the AI relies on the context of the previous step, which gives you significantly higher quality code than trying to smash it all into one prompt. And keep this in mind, professional workflows are incredibly iterative. You rarely ever settle for the first output. You start with a baseline, right? And then you refine those instructions step by step. You ask for analogies, then you specify the exact audience, then you toss in a new requirement like interview questions, and you just keep tweaking until the output is absolutely perfect. Remember, AI is a conversation. It's not a search engine. So your exercise, ask an AI a question, and then reply 3 times with refining constraints just to see how much the answer evolves. Finally, we arrive at Part 6, the universal prompt formula. This is your definitive framework to take home today. Before I give you the cheat code, look at this notoriously terrible prompt. Fix bug. Just fix bug. Ask yourself, based on what we've covered today, what is missing here? Well, basically everything. It has absolutely zero context, no defined audience, no constraints, and no specified output format. It's a complete shot in the dark. Now, look at the completely revamped version. This improved prompt works every single time because it systematically applies our rules. Let's break it down real quick. It assigns a role, senior developer. It provides context. I'm learning Spring Boot and dealing with a null point exception. It sets a constraint, limit to 300 words, and it demands a specific output format, Markdown. By mapping out exactly what you want, you leave absolutely no room for the AI to wander off course. Seriously, keep this universal prompt formula pinned to your desktop as a mental checklist. Role, context, task, constraints, output format, and audience. As these AI models get more and more capable, your ability to express your exact goals using these exact parameters is going to be your absolute greatest professional advantage. It's literally the difference between wrestling with a frustrating tool and collaborating with a brilliant assistant. To sum up everything today, great prompts are structured, they are highly contextual, and they are iterative. Your final mental exercise: memorize this 6-point checklist and refuse to write another prompt without checking off at least 4 of these boxes. At the end of the day, prompt engineering isn't about memorizing weird magic tricks or hacking the system. It's about clear communication. It's about treating AI as a true collaborative partner and communicating clearly with your digital intern. Once you stop giving AI vague, lazy commands and start giving it masterful, structured direction, the limits of what you can create just completely disappear. So my final question to you is this: what incredible things are you going to build with your highly intelligent intern today?